We have partnered with Mishmash Adventures located in Fox Valley Mall. It's kind of like a real life Double Dare, American Gladiators, and Legends of the Hidden Temple. Let's just say a playground for grown-ups.
You can expect at least 1 to 2 hours of high intensity fun hidden behind every door.
Make sure you check out Mishmash and support them and support our YouTube channel at the same time.
YBI 15. Get 15% off.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to YBI. Roman and Zion here, and you guys know what's up. We are here to talk to you guys today about what are we doing today? Successes and failures. Yeah, successes and failures from 2020. We just wanted to touch on something that was a little bit lighter. You know, we just got out of doing the whole education episode, that whole series that was phenomenal. We just got through with the small business episode. We did the giveaway stuff, all of that. So we needed to just take a step back, touch on, reflect a little bit on 2020, talk about what that's looked like for us financially, and, just let you guys in on how we are doing. Just touch base with you guys real quick, okay? So that's what this is going to be. Roman, what's going on, man? How you been?
Let's get it. Been good. Been feeling good, doing good. 2020 is almost
Good.
over, so hopefully.
Yeah, you ain't lying. You ain't lying. We are close to finishing this thing out, but we just want to make sure that we have some successes and some failures to reflect on, and then move forward into 2021 with a new perspective of what we can do. What we can do for 2021 a little bit better. So, without further ado, let's just hop right in there, man. 2020 has been an interesting year financially. There's been so many ebbs and flows just because of COVID, obviously being the main factor. Industries closing, industries opening, just different things. So it's a matter of perspective. And, if you were able to, set yourself up financially when this thing first started, then you would be in a really, really good place right now, which I feel like there are people that are. So Roman, are you on the good side or the bad side of 2020 financially?
On the good side, overall, most of my portfolio did really well and pretty much on the up and up. And that's just from consistent investing and sometimes getting in the market at the right times. You can never time it, but getting in there right, and you can do pretty well. Starting off, but overall though, was just paying off a lot of my student debt this year. Got most of it pretty much paid off, almost done with it. So that increased the credit score, and that makes me feel good.
Oh, absolutely. I think that would be my number one thing too. Number one thing that I would call a success for 2020 was the ability to pay things down and pay things off. Just because of COVID and with everything that has been going on, so many people were lenient. Exactly. People have been lenient with, what we can do. So I was able to pay stuff down. Not having the interest rates on those federal student loans was a huge help, not getting hit with all that additional interest. That was major. And like Roman said, paying stuff off leads to an increased credit score. Go check out the credit video that we did months and months ago. If you don't know how to increase your credit score, that would be a way to do that. And then that leads to just having more cash on hand. When you get stuff paid off, I think that's one of the best feelings, period. Just paying stuff off. That's fantastic. Getting things down to zero
and just got lifted off your shoulders. It's like, oh, okay, I don't have to worry about this anymore.
Yeah, getting a paid in full letter. There's nothing like getting a paid in full letter. Like super lit. So how does that lead into, your second thing for 2020 as a success?
After that, once you have more money on hand and more cash, you can save more, you can invest in yourself more, you can pay yourself more, and then you have other avenues to do more things. Once you're no longer in debt and don't have those bills, you then can use that to go back to school. You can use that to put it in the market or invest in something. Use that money to invest in yourself. Get some books. Go on, maybe not go on vacation really right now, or do whatever you want. Invest in your household. Do whatever you kind of want you to give some happiness, and start setting yourself up for future successes, for more and more success, because that's how you can start planting those seeds for wealth and growth and happiness, because that way you can just do better. And I'm not saying money's the leeway to happiness, but not being worried about your debt and not being worried about money or that stress of how you're going to pay your bills gives you peace.
Yeah, it definitely does. I mean, and the number one investment that we've made this year has been into the YBI team, the YBI family, all of the supplies, the giveaways,
We
everything
love
that we've
y'all.
done, and everything that we're continuing and planning to do for 2021 is going to be wild. You know, we have a lot of plans, but it was because we were, financially sound to start this thing off that allowed us to, then pay some additional things off and then have people that we pay to make sure that production is up to par. But all of that again stems from paying things down, saving money, having a strategic plan, and then having more cash on hand to then invest into things like this, which is the investment in self, like Roman talked about. So I think that all of that leads to number three, which would just be an increase in portfolio overall. So how did your portfolio look at this point?
Overall, like my main portfolio that I started that I'm gonna be sharing with you guys here soon once I get it on organized here. It's actually up 16% overall this year. But what's most interesting is the ones that are leading that charge right now, which I did not expect. Like Royal Caribbean Cruises up 139%. Which me and Zion were talking about that probably just from just when I got into it. I got it in there around like June or July, like kind of right when the market was kind of at its lowest. And I was like, well, people are going to start going on vacation at some point. Let me get some of the travel sector. So I got a couple of the cruise lines and some of the airlines even back then too, even though a lot of people were dumping them. I was like, there might be a chance here. I'm going to buy them and see where it goes. After the next one after that is Viacom, which Viacom, as everyone knows, is like just a giant in the industry. They own pretty much everything, or not everything, but most things on TV. And I was like, let me get some of that. And they're up 130% as well. And after that is Ternium, which is up 119%, which I didn't even know this. I was just investing in materials and their steel mill. But Zion was telling me how steel's actually almost double this year, which kind of leads to why that is so
Lumber,
much higher. Oh, lumber. I thought you said steel and lumber.
lumber, steel and lumber. So steel and lumber. If you're trying to build something right now, you're probably running into a really hard time purchasing product. There's been a shortage in just steel and lumber. If you go to Home Depot to get 2x4s, they're double what they were from when the pandemic started. So I was just explaining to Roman, hey, you should have bought some lumber stock, my guy. That's where
I
that's where
know.
some money would have been. That's where some money would have been because of the shortage and because now people are hustling to try to keep up with the demand for people that are building bunkers and thinking that the world is going to end and all this other stuff. People have time, so now they're trying to do more creative things and build stuff for themselves. So the price of lumber has doubled in many cases. So that was a place where we could have seen some growth, which I guess that's a perfect segue into some of the failures or some of the missed opportunities that we had in 2020. I think that lumber would have been one of the ones that I would have dove into. But what would you say is your number one failure for 2020?
Mine would probably be a real estate investment I had. It ended up being a REIT, which is like a real estate investment trust, a collection of properties that are in one trust. Put some money in there, and it was primarily student housing and gyms with some like residential. And those were some of the hardest hit right at the beginning of the pandemic. So lost like 98% of that value in there. So it was like a $407 loss. So that was probably my like biggest loss for this year, but it could still grow back value through next year, especially if things start to open back up. So we'll see what happens with that. But it could be a future thing. So we'll see. But that was probably my biggest hurt.
Yeah, I feel you. I definitely feel you. I mean, my biggest thing, which I'm gonna just say is number two, because your thing is definitely bigger than mine. Number two, I would say is if you guys have been watching, consistently, I liquidated a lot of my shoe collection. I probably had a couple hundred pairs of shoes. And when COVID first got started, there was a boom and a surge in, the prices that we were seeing for different pairs. So, I liquidated quite a bit with everybody else. And now I'm looking at the prices and they're even higher. Um, for me, it was like there were so many, releases that were just crazy. The Travis Scotts, the Ben and Jerry's, the dunks that are the lows and mids and the highs, like all these different shoes that have been releasing this year, the collaborations and things. I would have had if I had held on to these things I had a little bit more for a little bit longer, I would have been able to hop into the market now and probably trade to get one of the pairs that's more rare, a little bit more exclusive, all of those things. Um, specifically the Christian Dior's, the Dior ones. Those are like $13,000, $15,000. But if I had a collection that was 200 pairs strong, I could have
Mhm.
I could have sent them all off and then traded for that one pair, kept them clean, and then sold them for $20,000 or something. Here's the thing, I made money. I made money at the end of the day, so I can't be too upset. But I just I saw that there was, if I had held off, I probably would have been in a different position now. And I've been shifting towards everybody wants these items now versus with the holiday season I would have been able to sell them and make a little bit more, et cetera, et cetera. So that would have been my biggest L to hold this year.
And that happens, and it's always a thing where you feel like you just didn't get in at the right people. A lot of people probably feel that way about Tesla and a lot of stocks, or
Yeah.
even Amazon or Apple. People are like, "Man, if I had only invested in them back in 2000 or whatever, I would have been this
Yeah.
by now." That's always gonna happen. So it's definitely a failure for the year. But you're like, you know what? You still got that money. You still make money off of it. So it's not like you lost money on the deal. So that's great. That's
Right.
great.
So where are you looking? Because I know that point number three has a lot to do with what's going on right now in terms of marijuana as controlled substance, blah 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 blah. So how does that look for you right now?
So right now in my portfolio, I have two portfolios I'm invested in. One's actually up 23%, but one's down 31%. The one that's down 31% was the one I've been holding for the longest. I got into it right when you can start buying into the industry. I'm like, I'm gonna get in here right now. And of course it went up a lot and I was still buying it, and it went down a lot and I was still buying. So right now, averagely I'm down over a little bit there, but I see it going within the next like 5 to 10 years, same deal, or even longer, 10, even 20 years, or with Bitcoin and a few other investments that I have for growth potential, is that it's gonna grow really big and it's gonna be blow up. If you see a lot of states right now, they're doing $1 billion in just sales revenue and tax revenue from it. Especially after the House just passed a decriminalization bill on it. Even if it doesn't get all the way through Congress, is a step in the right direction that the industry is going to get there. It's going to blow up, and when it does, I want a piece of it and start getting.
Hmm.
I want to. I'm really trying to figure out if this is going to be somewhere where it's like Amazon or something like that. You get in when it's really low and no one's thinking about it and no one cares about it, and have it blow up.
Yeah. I
Rolling the
think it has the
dice.
potential to do that. I mean, it has the potential to do that, but I think that as it is, it's always a gamble because
Yeah.
when you take something that was illegal, highly sought after, and then you put a price and a tax on that, it has the potential to make it less sought after, or it has the potential to increase, the amount of illegal sales that are going on, et cetera, et cetera. So, I mean, it really is one way or the other. Roman's highly invested in it, and I think that's the move that he wants to make, and that makes perfect sense. Would I invest in it? Probably. I probably would.
It's
I can't
diversify
even. I
it.
can't even lie. I probably would.
You know
Yeah,
what I'm
it's
saying?
it's
Put all your
diversifying
money
your
in
portfolio.
it. Yeah, you mix it up, and that's just something I'm rolling the dice on. You just got to see where it goes, and I'm up on it. It's just like after the prohibition of alcohol, it took like 10 to, I think, about 15 years for it to really get more or less normalized afterwards. The prohibition of alcohol, for it to really to take over the market and for to see some real good growth. And it's in
Hmm.
there for the long haul. Same deal with people who are really bullish on Amazon and Tesla. If you talk to them, they're going to say they're holding those for 10 to 20 years, like they're never getting rid of it. And long
Yeah,
term
that
haul,
makes sense.
especially in our age group for
Exactly.
investing. If you're not trying to really if you're not holding your investments for really that long to really see some good growth out of them, I don't know. It depends on your style of investing.
Exactly. Exactly. And we've also touched on the style of investor that you are. I don't know which video that was, but it was a long, long time ago.
Yeah, it
One
was
of the
one of the
first
first
few.
ones.
What type of investor are you? Um, So yeah, I think that kind of sums up our top three successes and failures from the financial perspective for 2020. We've had some ups and downs this year, um, but I think that it's all a matter of, hey, progression, moving forward, and seeing what else we can do. We're not trying to hit a home run every time and just become millionaires right off the bat, but it's a step by step process that allows us to grow with you guys. So we wanted to do a little check in so you guys know where we're at for our successes and failures thus far in 2020. We'll wait to see what the last 2 weeks of the year have to hold. But until then, this is where we at. Roman, final thoughts?
Say it again. Start saving, investing, throw some money in there, like, share, subscribe. For the algorithm for us, thank you everybody for supporting the channel and going through this with us. Please comment anything down below for your top 3 successes and failures. Give us some stocks or investments that you had. Do like just your top 3 gainers and top 3 losers for the year. It'll be great to see kind of where everyone's at. A lot of people have a study with the monkeys where they just threw a dartboard at the stock market and end up still beating out a lot of experts. So I'm interested to see where everyone else kind of found like their biggest profits from this year. Something weird. I'm gonna say some weird companies.
Some weird companies. In addition, today is your last day to get in on the giveaway or to vote for the giveaway. The giveaway submissions are now closed, but in a couple of days we will be announcing the winners of $250 in addition to 4 tickets to Mishmash on the 21st of December. So make sure you're going to vote on our Twitter page, which is at YBI_LLC. Vote there, and
check out the description for our website. So you can go there and check out more content, donate to the channel. Also down below are referral links to a lot of the apps that we talk about here: Coinbase, Stash, M1, all that jazz. So check them out down below.
Y'all heard the man. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get on out of here. As you guys know, we may be young and we may even be broke, but we are always investing. Till next time, peace.
Hey everybody, thank you for listening to Young Broke and Investing. We just want to let you know that these are the opinions of the hosts, are not meant to be the basis of any security purchases or investments. We're trying to give a little information out there for everybody, and have fun and be safe.